Hey guys, good evening everyone. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. Let's get started. My name is Pratik Agrawal. I'm going to start
Hello.
sharing screen
Hello.
and I'm going to ask you all to remain on mute until you have a question. All right, guys. So we have got around 60 minutes, and in these 60 minutes, we will learn to build our first AI agent. So I'm going to first show you what AI is and what could be a definition of AI agent, and then we'll build one AI agent from scratch. Uh, The assumption here is that you have not built any AI agent yet. So our focus today is not to help you build a very advanced agent, but the focus here today would be to help you build your first AI agent. But once you learn how to build this first AI agent, believe me, you'll be able to create more complicated AI agents. All right, let me start sharing my screen. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so I can see a lot of people who have joined in. Great. So I'm going to show you one AI agent that I have already created. And this is something that we will create in the workshop today. So this AI agent is a very simple AI agent. It takes a message, and that message could come from WhatsApp, Telegram, or maybe a message sent to a website, and it applies its own agentic capabilities. Search something from OpenAI, that means from GPT, the model behind ChatGPT, and also from the internet, and gives you the result. So that is what this simple AI agent will do. And then if time permits at the end of the class, we'll also try and connect this AI agent to a Telegram bot so that you can have a capability just like how Meta AI works on WhatsApp, where you tag Meta AI and it answers for you. So similarly, if you want to build something like that by yourself, then also you can do that. But before we go into this, let's go into the definition of what is an AI agent, right? And how do we define AI agent? So let me open my notepad and let me explain you AI agent in a few very simple sentences. Okay. And remember, there is no there is no specific, sorry, there is no one bookish definition of AI agent. Different people are calling agents differently. Let me write AI agents. So now, how do we define AI agents, right? A few things that you will see are common about AI agents. The first thing that you will notice that when people refer to AI agent is the fact that it has the ability to use AI. That means some kind of artificial intelligence it must be using. And we all know now that we have used Chat GPT, we have used Meta AI, we have used so many different cloud AI services. So it has to be connected to one of the large language model. For example, your GPT model by OpenAI, Google Gemini by Google, DeepSeek, or any other, some one or the other large language model or some kind of an AI model should be connected to. Because otherwise, it will not have the AI capability. Otherwise, it will just be an automation workflow, right? So it should be using one of the AI models. It should be connected. Second, it should have a workflow. Now, what is a workflow? Workflow is essentially set of steps that the agent performs autonomously by itself. So it should have some kind of steps that it does automatically, right? So that autonomous or uh, you know uh, uh, the capability to run certain steps, right? Maybe it is to pull information or pull messages from Telegram or WhatsApp or maybe websites, and then it should be able to send that message to, let's say, an AI model, and then should be able to get the responses for the user. Should be able to probably do internet search as well, and give the results back to the user, right? So workflow use AI, And it should also use something called as tools. Now, what could be the tools here that we talk about? Tools could be, let's say, Google search. Maybe you're creating an AI agent which searches open data analytics positions for you. Maybe you are a job seeker in the data analyst world, and you want to be able to search jobs in the world of in data AI, and you want to create an AI agent which does it for you, right? So it should have some kind of tool. So one very famous and very common tool is the ability to search on Google. That is the first. Second set of tools could be, let's say, some kind of document reader. Now, the document reading capability can also come from the kind of AI model that you use, because as we also have seen that ChatGPT also can actually read the documents. Now you upload PDF and it does its own parsing, and then it reads the context of it. So, but you can also have some kind of an extra tool to do the document reading. If you want some kind of calculations to be done, so it may have some kind of a calculator, maybe a calculator which is very purpose driven. Maybe it's a simple mathematical calculator, maybe it is a scientific calculator, maybe it is a financial calculator. So it could be such calculations as well. While you can also rely on AI LLMs, AI models to do calculations, but they're not very, very accurate at it, especially if you're using a cheaper AI model, right? So, a lot of AI agents will have. Is my voice still very, very low, everybody? Can you all hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you can hear me loud and clear, thank you. So anybody who's thinking that my voice is slightly less clear, maybe increase the speaker volume. Okay, very good, nice, thank you. Now, so as I said, an AI agent needs certain steps to perform automatically by itself. It needs to be connected to at least one artificial intelligence, so artificial intelligence or AI model, so that we can use some AI capabilities, and it should have set of tools. Now, here I have listed one online search tool, for example, Google search tool, document reading tool, calculator tool, but there can be many such tools. Maybe you want to create a very specific tool for your own purpose. Maybe you are a digital marketer and you want to create a tool that builds, let's say, or that connects with customer relationship management software, so that it connects with the leads that is generated. So essentially, these are the bare minimum things that I would add one more thing here, okay? Should have some memory. Have some memory. Now, what is the meaning of memory? Memory is that, let's say, somebody sends, let's say, user sends a message, for example, which are the top 5 movies in India in 2025. Let's say that is a query, right? That is a very, very simple query. Now, let's say you use some kind of a Google search tool to get that result, and then you process that result using AI, and you got some results with you, right? And that result should ideally be saved somewhere, or maybe that query, that prompt should also be saved in the AI agent's memory somewhere, so that it understands the context, right? For example, when we talk to Chat GPT, right, it remembers all our chats and it shows the history of those chats as well, and the responses that we have gotten from against those chats. So, so those chats also, those historical chats should be remembered somewhere. So it should have some kind of a memory, okay? In other words, if you're talking of a very, very production size, large enterprise driven AI agents, then it probably will be connected with some kind of databases as well, right? But here in today's session, we will see how you can create simple, how we can assign simple memory to our AI agents as well. Later on, you can explore to connect your AI agents to databases as well. That will be very, very interesting. So that is a definition of AI agent. I'm going to spend probably just 2 to 3 minutes here and ask you very quickly. Maybe you can ask that question, or you can contribute in the chat window instead of verbally. Is there any question? I mean, is there any other definition of AI agent that you have heard, or is there any question about AI agent overall architecture? Any questions, guys? If you want to ask, you can use the chat window and ask that. Any questions about AI agent architecture or any other definition that you might have heard? No? All right. One question that Palab has asked. Can AI agents be created with Python? Of course, with code, and especially with Python, kind of a general programming language, it becomes even more capable. But today's session is creating our first AI agent, specifically the no-code AI agent. So that is why I've kind of stayed away from creating with Python. But if you go to IB Pro's YouTube portal, you'll find some of my videos where I've also used Python to create some simple AI agents. What is a simple investment? Nothing. I mean, Jaditya, maybe your time to learn something. And also, yeah, I mean, there are some API costs and all that you should be able to bear, which is hardly a few hundred rupees, so yeah, literally with that, you can at least start building some simple AI agents. This, at a very high level, Arvind, could be called as an AI agent architecture, where you have one central tool software which kind of controls the entire workflow, whereby the set of steps are happening, and those steps are interconnected to certain tools and certain AI models, and gives the responses and have some memory. Himanshu's question is, how can you get API keys? I'm going to tell you how to get API keys today. Don't worry about it. Can we automate customer support process? Absolutely, you can automate customer support process. One of the extensions of the AI agent that we will create today can be that it can also be used to automate the customer support process. Specifically, in maybe in the next boot camp, look out for the next boot camp that I will do. There, I will talk about one more AI agent, which is the RAG-based AI agent and retrieval augmented generation, whereby we can actually provide our own documentation and create AI agents with which you can actually have your own. This, for example, customer support agents should have documentations, manuals of how certain processes work in that company or in that platform, and then should answer. So, yes, definitely you can. Can we create AI agent in Java? Yes, you can, but I'm not an expert of Java. I've learned Java in the past, but not an expert, but definitely you can. Yes, we will create an AI agent without any code today also, Saurav. Where it first answers to FAQ, right? Absolutely right, Saurav. So that's what the customer support and RAG-based AI agent can actually do. And in the next bootcamp, I will definitely cover RAG-based. I have covered RAG-based certain tools. If you go to Ivy's YouTube channel, you'll find a couple of places where I have actually done RAG-based AI tools as well. All right, let's go into the process, right? Let's go to the process, okay? Because I'm pretty excited to show you what we can do with this and how interesting it can be. Just before that, I will just give a contribution to the sponsor of today's workshop. The sponsor of today's workshop is IB Pro School. I happen to be one of the co-founders there. So if you guys are, we are doing great things in Gen AI, in AI data and the related world. So if you are interested in any of such learnings and you want to go deeper and build a career out of this, then it would be a great place. We are one of the top ranked data and AI schools. We have also partnered with IIT Guwahati, NASCOM, Government of India, and IPM. And we are official learning partner of many Fortune 500 companies who work in this data and AI space. And we've been in this space for the last 16 years. So we'll be more than happy to answer any such, answer any questions about making a career. And also, if you want to be connected with me beyond today's workshop, you can also just search my name, Prateek Ivy, and you will find the first link would be my link, and I'll be more than happy to be connected with you all. And I love talking about data. I love talking about AI. I'll be more than happy to talk about further. All right. With that, so the platform that I've decided, because the objective is to use a no-code platform. While there are many no-code platforms available which have come in the recent past, which allow you to create AI agents. However, I have chosen one of the very, very famous one, open source, although N8N N for Nancy, number 8, and N for Nancy again, N8N. So I'm going to tell you how to create an account in N8N and then how to use it also. Okay. So in order to do so, I'm going to use another login here and I'm going to go to something called as N8N. N8N. And when you search for it, go to the link of their platform. And of course, if it is the first time you're signing in, click on Get Started on the top right hand side. Pretty straightforward, nothing complicated. Once you're inside, it can be slightly overwhelming. I mean, it has a lot of options. However, one of the things that I'll do is that I'll help you understand how to do it. So, a few things here, you do it, you give your name, you create an account. Once it is done, some odd reason it's not happening. Okay, once it is done, and it gives you some 1,000 messages for free and 14 days of trial. Of course, after that also it's not very, very expensive to try. All right, guys. And remember, feel free. I mean, I would strongly recommend everybody that be willing to invest into learning. Few hundred rupees, few thousand rupees as well here and there will actually be able to, which will help you to build these AI agents from scratch. Uh, okay, it's done. Okay, now once it is done, so be willing to spend a few hundred rupees, few thousand rupees to learn these things. Believe me, you will be recovering that money in no time. Okay, first AI agent. I mean, of course, we've been doing this kind of work for some time, and I can tell you that one AI agent, if you're able to sell to any enterprise, you will be more than you will be more than making what you would be spending in learning to build AI agents. Okay, everybody is looking for AI agents because AI agents can help you minimize your costs significantly, minimize the time of execution in your business processes significantly. All right. So now we are inside N8. Once you're inside, you can actually watch some short video as well. But I would say that the kind of steps that we will do here would be even easier to follow than that tutorial video that you'd find in N8's website. Okay. Alrighty, let's look at it, guys. Okay, so this is the interface that you will land to. Now, this can be overwhelming. This can be too much for many people. So I'm going to do a little bit of simplification. On the left-hand side, you will see projects. So I'm just going to click on plus here, okay? And I'm going to create my first project. Let's call it as my first AI agent, okay? And you can also use make.com. I mean, there are quite a few colored. You can use Power Automate by Microsoft. You can use many, but the process kind of remains the same. The reason why I'm using N8N, one, open source, it is very popularly used in the industry. Third, it allows you to connect to many tools, many interfaces very easily. That is the reason why I'm using. Otherwise, there is Agentive Hub, there is Power Automate, there is Make, there are quite a few of them. Not all of them were actually created for agentic processes. Okay, but here I like N8N pretty much. Okay, now let me save it. So here, what I've done is that I've created my first project. You can see the workflows here. I have not created any workflow credentials. If you want to save any credentials related to your project, for example, API keys and whatnot, you can actually keep saving them over here. We'll skip it for now. Executions, how many times you've executed an agent, and some other project settings. For now, we will skip all of that and we'll directly go to workflow. And under the workflow, guys, okay, under the workflow, just go to start from scratch. Now, when you click on start from scratch, then you will find this button here which says a plus, right? Which shows a plus. Now here, yeah, here I will click on it. And the moment I click on it, on the right hand side, what you will find is you'll find set of triggers, because any workflow, any AI agents need to be triggered. You need to be able to send something. For example, a very simple AI agent that we are creating today is the place is the is an agent which will take certain messages or a prompt from a user, and then can go to Google, search something, and then send that result to an LLM model, an AI model, and then process it, and then give us a very nice natural language output to us. Okay. So here, just going to click on, I'm going to search for chat trigger. But you will find a lot of things. For example, Telegram trigger. If the time remains at the end, then we'll talk about Telegram trigger as well. That means if you receive a message on your Telegram channel, then trigger this AI agent, right? For example, for now, we are going to go with chat trigger. Okay, so when I click on it, so that means what I'm doing here is that I'm creating one node. What am I creating? I'm creating a node, right? Don't worry about this. I will directly go to back to canvas over here on the left hand side on the top. And when I go to back to canvas, this is the node that I have created. So remember your workflow. So this, we are creating a workflow. What is a workflow? Workflow is a set of steps. Now this workflow can be as complicated as you want, right? I mean, depending upon how complicated your business situation is, the workflow can also be extremely complicated, or it can be extremely simple as well. Okay. So for now here, the first step in our workflow is that whenever a chat is received, right? And we will see, how chat can be given to this workflow. If I click on it, then there is a chat message, but for now I will hide it. Now I've created the first node of my workflow, right? Then I'm going to click on the second. I'm going to click on plus here. This time I'm going to look for AI, and I'm going to look for AI agent. Now here, when you look for AI agent, this is the first agent that you are creating in your project, right? So connected to the chat trigger mode. Fine. There is nothing else that you will do over here, and we'll just click on back to canvas. So what we have done is that very simple step. We have we have created a chat message node. Then we have created a node for AI agent. Now, this AI agent is the orchestrator. For example, if there is a symphony of music happening, then there is one guy who's doing, who's managing everybody else, right? All the musicians who are in front of him, he's giving them instructions with his hand. So that is exactly what this AI agent does. Okay, it doesn't have its own capability. I mean, the only capability that it has is it kind of will get triggered when the message happens, and then depending upon whether there is a chat here, because we are using a chat thing. So here, chat. If there is a chat model, it will call that. If there is some other tool, for example, Google search or some other tool that we are using, it will call that. And if there is some memory, then it will save the memory. So it is the orchestrator of the entire agent, okay, of our entire agent. So I'm going to click on something called as chat mode. I hope you all can see this chat mode. Here it says chat mode, right? The reason why I'm selecting the chat mode is because I want to give it, I want to link it to an AI model, okay, which will actually understand the chat message, the prompt, right? So I'm going to click on this plus here. And this is where I will connect it to OpenAI. OpenAI is the OpenAI. I'll connect to the GPT model, the AI model given by OpenAI. OpenAI is the main company behind ChatGPT. And how would I connect to that OpenAI? I will connect to OpenAI GPT model using something called as an API. Now, what is an API? So whenever I have to connect one software with another software, for example, we said that we want to connect to an AI LLM provider. Right here, in our case, the AI LLM provider that we are using is OpenAI's GPT model, okay, which is the model behind the brain behind ChatGPT. Now, if I have to connect my AI agent to OpenAI GPT model, then I will do that using application programming interface. This is how two softwares talk to each other, right? This is how two softwares talk to each other. Now, what happens in an API is through an API, a software, let's say a service provider software, for example, in this case, our AI LLM, which is GPT OpenAI LLM, is the service provider. It has its own knowledge base, right? That is what OpenAI has done, has trained and created a general pre-trained model. And now they are giving that pre-trained model as a subscription to other softwares and to other individuals. So here, if a software wants to connect to another software, which is a service provider software, then they do that using API, wherein first they get authenticated. Authenticated meaning, so when you open an account with OpenAI and you say that I'm interested to get your API key, so they will authenticate, probably take your credit card number and so forth, and then they will give you something called as an API key, which is a unique key given to you, right? And you will feed that API key in your own software. In this case, our own software is the AI agent that we are building. So in our software, we will feed the API key provided by OpenAI company. And once that API key is fed, and this is secret, okay, it's very, very secret and it's very, very delicate because if somebody else comes to know about your API key, they can actually utilize, and you probably will be get billed. So here the API key is you provide the API key given by OpenAI in your own software. With your API key, they will authenticate that yes, you are a active customer with them, and then you can send the responses or send the prompts and get the responses back to your software, and that's how the two software will be able to talk to each other. Okay, so API key is actually nothing but a server, a waiter in a restaurant. The role of a waiter is what? To take the messages from you, go to the kitchen, get the food for you. If you are an authenticated customer, then get the food from the kitchen and give it to you. Just like you don't really care who's actually making the food in the kitchen. Similarly, a software does not care how the other software works as long as they can talk to each other through an API key, right? So that is what we are very, very interested, because we want our AI agent to connect to an LLM service provider, to connect to Google search. So we will actually require two API keys. First API key that we will require would be the OpenAI's API key. The second API key also we will require would be the Google search API key, which is called a SERP API, search result API key, that you will get from Google. All right. So these are the two API keys that you will require today. I'm going to quickly tell you the process to get the API key as well. Now, to get the API key from OpenAI LLM is very, very simple. And there are many, many videos which are already created. I've also created it. So if you simply search on Google OpenAI API key, then you will find this link which says platform.open.ai. And here, what you'll have to do is you'll have to go to the dashboard here on the top. Once you have created your account, that means once you have signed up with them, they will ask you to spend $1 or $2, which is a few hundred rupees, guys. Be willing to be willing to please spend 200-300 rupees to get the API key. Okay. And once you're here, click on API keys here, and then you will be able to create the API key for now. And you give your information here. Of course, you'll have to give the credit card information, and they will charge you a couple of dollars to do this. Okay. But remember these couple of dollars, you'll be able to experiment a lot of things because the API cost has gone down significantly. Okay. Be willing to spend that much money. For now, for today, I'm going to use my API key. And in my API key, I have already created my API key here and I've saved it. And I'm going to use it, but I'm going to change it after the session today. Okay. So that you all can create your own API key after the session and you can try. All right. So that's where you create your API key. And now, assuming that you created the API key, you want to give the API key over here. So now here I'm looking for OpenAI chat model. So this is the chat model that I have gotten. Again, this step you will do once you have created your own API key, right? Because it's going to ask you. And by the way, this also gives you 100 OpenAI API key API credits. If you want, you can also click on it. So this way, you also get some free API keys, free credits as well. Okay, so I'm actually be using N8N free OpenAI API key. Okay, Now here, all right, Tanvir, I understand your question. Tanvir's question is, can we not use some of the other OpenAI, I mean, some of the other API keys, for example, some of the other models from Hugging Face library? Not all models are supported. Only the enterprise grade models are generally supported for such platforms, Tanvir. Okay. So I'm going to be using GPT-4o Mini, but you can see that there are many such models available, but GPT-4o Mini is more than enough for our purpose today. So here I'm using the N8N free OpenAI credits, so that is fine. Now, what I've done is you can see that I've created another node whereby I've connected my AI engine to OpenAI GPT model through the API key. Perfect. Now I'm going to give it some memory, okay, so that whenever there is a question being asked, whenever some responses come, then it has certain memory in it, right? So I'm going to click on this plus here, and I'm going to, you can also connect it to a database to memorize a lot of information. But for now, I'm just going to go to simple memory. And the simple memory also, I'm going with only 5 context window length, right? You can increase it if you want, but for now, I'm just going to stick to 5 for now. Okay. Now, once I have done this, then, by the way, people who are asking for the recording, yes, of course, what we will do is we will record this and upload it into Ivy Pro's YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ivy Pro School. And you all will be able to, people who have actually joined in today, you all will be able to see and learn. I've given the link in the chat window as well. So look for it. For people who have actually joined today, you'll be able to get the link and you'll be able to see it. All right. So here I've got the memory as well. You can see the memory, minimize slightly. So we got 3 nodes now. Okay, 4 nodes, in fact, 3 nodes. Chat message, chat trigger, OpenAI for the AI LLM capability, and simple memory. And now I'm going to add a few tools. One of the tools that I want to add here is Google search, right? And now how do you add Google search tool? So for adding Google, by the way, before we add Google search tool, remember I told you that you may be required to do some calculations. And for calculations, most of the good platforms, AI agent platforms, will allow you to add their own internal calculator, which is, again, as I said, AI LLMs can also do calculation, but they're not the greatest thing. And why waste token money in AI LLMs calculator when most of these platforms also give their free calculators. So here I've added a calculator node. Will I definitely require? Well, it depends upon the kind of query or the prompt that would be asked by the user. If the user says, hey, please give me 98 plus 100. So that means a calculator, right? So it's a very simple calculator. It can do the job here instead of sending the result, instead of sending the prompt to an LLM model. Now I'm going to click on absolutely, Zabran. You are saying right, absolutely right. So actually, in the background, LangChain is there. LangChain is being used. People who do not understand LangChain, it's a set of library which allows you to do a lot of such things in the background. But today's workshop is not about LangChain, okay? Because again, to be able to use LangChain, you have to have understanding of Python. You have to have understanding of maybe Node.js. I mean, one of the very strong general programming languages and then use it. But today's theme was to be able to create our first AI agent, no code AI agent, right? So we're going to stick to that. Now, the second tool that I'm adding, as I said, is SERP API. So I'm looking for SERP API. Now, for again adding a SERP API, we will require the credentials, which in case uh, is an API key. Now, how do we get this API key? Now, to get the Google search API key or SERP API, you you go to again Google just to save some time. What I'm going to do is, so you what you do is you'll go for SERP API will search, and you'll go to this link. You'll create an account, and once you create an account, you will sign in. All of that once it is done, and once you have authenticated your account, that means you verified your account, right? There is a complete process to verify your account. I'll just show you, but we will not probably go through that entire process in the video today. But it doesn't take more than a couple of minutes to do it anyways. But yeah, but there is a process. You'll have to register here. And while you're registering, you will have to sign up. I would say that, just sign up with Google. That'll be slightly easier, verification and all of that becomes slightly easier. And then, you give your phone number as well. They insist that you give your phone number as well. And so successfully signed in. And then here it says, check your inbox to verify. I'm not going to do that in the class today. And you'll have to also verify your phone number. Both these things are done. Once both these things are done, then you will get to this platform, this particular page, and there you go to API key. And once you go to the API key, it will display the API key here. For now, I'm going to use this one, but of course, after the session, I'm going to regenerate the API key. Again, this has to be kept secret, right? Now, once I've got this API key, I'll go back here. And in my SERP API key, remember, where did we get this from? Where did we get this from? I'm just going to go back. I'm just going to delete this node. How do you delete this node? Just click on this delete. And this was a tool because it's a search. So I'm looking for SERP API. And when I click on it, it's going to ask for the credentials. I'm going to give the API key here, copy and paste, save it. That's it. How easy it is. See, and it will test it. Test it. Very nice. Close it. Close this. Go back. Now the SERP API is also added. So now I have got most of the things that I actually need. I've got a trigger, which is a chat trigger. I could have used Telegram, WhatsApp as well, or a website hook. I've got an AI LLM model integrated through an API. I've got a simple memory for 5 context line, simple calculator, and a SERP API. So my AI agent, the way I wanted it for now, for today, it's ready. Now, how do I test it before I make it active? How do I test it? In order to test it, you go to open chat here, that orange button here at the bottom. And then this is where you can write your questions. For example, you write, it's connection lost. Okay, now which are the top 5 movies in India in 2025, right? You can literally ask any question. Now you may be wondering, I could have asked this question from ChatGPT. But here, what we are doing is that we are building our own API, own AI agent. And if you can see this, that because we are specifically in 2025, so the AI agent decided that I should trigger the SERP API. That means a Google search. So it is searching on Google. Of course, it's taking slight bit of time. The reason why it takes slight bit of time is because it's a trial environment. It's not a production environment. Once you upgrade it, then it becomes even better, faster, right? And so it's actually looking for the answer, is searching on Google. And once it gets the answer from Google, then it is going to display the answer back to us, right? So see, it is thinking right now. At times, because it's a trial, at times it gets stuck. So I don't think we should be taking so much time. We're just going to stop the execution. But actually, it did finish. So we should have an answer here. See, it has an answer. Just that, it took a little extra time. So you can see the answers, Java, L2, whatever it is, whatever this is. And you can see the simple memory, open chat, output. What was the output here? And SERP API. Then this was the query asked. This was the output of the SERP API. Open chat again. So here, the open chat was input, was this. And output was also the same. There was nothing else that it did. But AI agent took care of this, right? It actually understood that, what, I want to call 2 times the LLM model. One, to understand the query being asked by the user, convert this into a search term, and also save it, and then send it to the SERP API and get some responses from the SERP API, and then show it back to the user, right? So this is a very, very simple AI agent that we have created. Now here, if you want, instead of having an open chat here, you could actually convert this into a bot trigger, which is that, it comes from Telegram bot as well. For example, if okay, how do we deploy this? Very good question. Devashi's question is, how do we deploy on a real project environment? What could be the process to deploy something like this, right? Now, anybody who has done any deployment, can you do you have any idea that how can we deploy this? Anybody? Docker, GitHub, what people are saying? Okay. See, again, think a little bit, huh? Think a little bit more. Uh, what have we done here? What have we done here, guys? If you think about it, what we have done here is that we have created an AI agent, right? And here the trigger is a manual chat. But as I said, you can remove this node here and include the trigger. So I've removed that and I'm going to click on plus here and include the trigger of, let's say, Telegram. And within the Telegram, let's say on message. That means what's going to happen is, and let's say you give the credentials of your, your Telegram as well. For example, so I'll tell you, what how to create. So you look for bot father. Bot father is essentially a method through which, I mean, a process through which you can create a bot. And here the bot is, let's say I click on new bot. And then, okay, how are you going to call it? Let's say I call it as IV Pro 3 bot. And let's choose a name. Pro 3 bot. I should have named it more properly. And once we have this, so let's say this is the token. This is where the API key comes, right? And once you have it, then that this is the bot, and then you start it. And once you start it, so this is the message, right? The moment I send this message, right now it will not work because we have not integrated this yet. But the moment you send this message, then what will happen is, yes, computer started to behave erratically for a moment. I have a lot of things running. Yeah. Let's say I get the token here, I save it, and it verifies it, tests, done, great, back to canvas. And now what it has done is, yeah, what it has done is that now the trigger for this AI agent is essentially a message given on a Telegram bot or Telegram channel. Is that making sense? Just like Meta AI on a WhatsApp is essentially a bot, right? And in order to trigger that, we write at the rate and we call Meta AI, and that's how it gets triggered. So what I'm trying to tell you is that moment I make it as active, it becomes deployed, right? And the only thing that you need is that bot to interact with, because that is where you will get the responses back from this entire AI agent. Do you understand? So AI agent remains in the background. It does not normally come in the front, right? You need a trigger for any AI agent. Here, the trigger is a message sent to a Telegram bot. You can have a triggered message sent to a WhatsApp. You can have a chat window on your website whereby, a lot of websites have those customer help chat window, right? Where you type in messages and get the responses. You can also have something like that as well, right? So those become the trigger points. That's how we end up deploying them. Is that making sense? It's already a cloud platform. N8N, the version that we're using is a cloud version. While you also have lot of these desktop installed workflow automation platforms like Desktop Power Automate and Desktop N8N. But then the problem is then you'll have to have some kind of an interface between your desktop and the cloud, right? So in order to avoid that, I generally prefer to use a cloud-based platform for hosting my AI agents as well, right? So the basic question is how do we connect our Telegram with this, right? In order to connect your Telegram with this, first, of course, you got to go to your Telegram. And when you go to Telegram, search here for something called as a bot father. Now, bot father is a tool given in Telegram by Telegram to create bots. Now, what are bots? Bots are essentially channels, you can say, which where if somebody sends ask a question, then they can get a response. So here I created a bot. And how did I create a bot? So I came to bot father, and then I typed this. So when you go to bot father, it'll automatically tell you, what are the steps. So in order to create a new bot, you write /new bot. It allows you to create a new bot. And once you have the new bot, give it a name. Once you have given the name, then you will get this API key. And once you have gotten the API key, then it will also tell you how to access that API, how to access that bot. So here there is a bot here, and when you click on it, it starts that bot. And then it brings you to the bot, and then you click on start, and then it is started. And now you start interacting with the bot, and then you can actually get the result. That means your question here will end up triggering the AI agent over here. Len's question is, how do we integrate with WhatsApp? Now, Len, now that you've understood how to integrate with Telegram, so similarly for WhatsApp as well, WhatsApp is slightly more technical. It requires slightly a few extra steps as well, Len, because for WhatsApp, Meta requires you to have a business verified account. And that is a few extra steps. So there are a lot of videos there. We have also created a video here, I think in one of the other things. But let's say, if I delete this and click on here, so here WhatsApp Business Cloud tool is there, but it has to be verified. And that verification itself takes a little bit of time to do it. And that is the reason why it's not very super technical, believe me. If you Google or go to ChatGPT, you'll find the steps as well. It's just that you have to get your number business verified by Meta in order to use the WhatsApp bot. So that is the reason, for demonstration purpose, I normally prefer to use either Microsoft Teams or use Telegram to do this. All right, guys. So that kind of brings us to the end of the session today. Just to quickly revise, right? What are the things that we did? Now, let me go back to this and chat trigger. MCP, Zubran, we will talk about MCP in probably next month's session, bootcamp. I will definitely create one one on MCP as well. MCP is the model context protocol started by Anthropic, which is a company largely promoted by Amazon. And it is to make the entire process of connecting our AI agents to other service providers. For example, here today we are using APIs, but API, the issue is that every software provider has their own method of providing the APIs. But with model context protocol, it becomes easier. You got the servers. Anyway, we don't want to go into the technical details of MCP today. However, it is a very interesting time, guys, whereby we are saying that how should the agents talk to maybe other agents, which is A2A, agent-to-agent protocol, promoted by, I think, Google. And how should agent talk to other service providers, for example, the tools and whatnot that we've spoken about today, for example, OpenAI LLM model or is Google search result. So that's where MCP comes into the picture instead of API. So, world is changing, and it'll be an interesting thing how it spans out. Can we connect with SAP B1 HANA? You can literally connect with any database, and SAP B1 HANA also is connected to a database as well, right? So literally, you can connect with any database for that matter. Because remember here, the memory that we used here, instead of using this memory, you'll actually connect it to a database. and be done with it, right? So, and you can further continue to do it, guys, and you can keep exploring and keep adding more nodes to your AI agent tree, and then it can actually becomes like a complex tree as well, guys. Okay. Now, I've got Kamlesh's question is, can we create our own component and write code for it? Kamlesh, you can also do that. You can, if you know how to code, let's say in Python, you can definitely do it. And in Ivy's YouTube channel, we have actually created a lot of videos specifically for creating it using Python. Okay, and maybe and tomorrow again you have one more session, guys. Okay, there we will go deeper into codes as well, and more than happy to assist there. So this is a great channel, guys, and you'll find a lot of great videos specifically on Gen AI, AI agents, models, and more than happy. I mean, I would suggest, why don't you guys go through it and probably find some interesting content to follow. All right, guys, which language is used for AI agents? Cyan, again, today, Cyan, the focus was on no code, but you can actually literally build an AI agent with any general programming language. Python, of course, is being used aggressively and extensively in this world. But, we got, we have in Ivy, we use a lot of, my tech team actually use Node.js as well, and to create a lot of platforms. This is a platform that we've created internally. It's a great platform. It allows people to diagnose their skills, prepare them for a specific job role, helps them to create resume, which is and gives them score as well on how well their resume is. And all of this is created internally using Node.js and connected to different LLM models. And it's pretty interesting the way it creates the scores, and it assigns scores to each resume based on the job role that you're targeting. Gives you the ability to verify, to modify as well. So interesting. I mean, everything we have done internally, which is and we have done it in Node.js. So you can see the scores come, and different profiles are there. Those are different sections are there. You can download your resume in different formats. So I mean, the idea is that you can customize it. You can do a lot of things, and then here you can diagnose your question. I mean, you can have quizzes. You can build your customized lesson plan, and very soon we will have one more module here which will help you prepare for an interview. So AI mock interviews or AI interview assistant as well. So all of this are AI agents, but we've done it in different programming languages also. All right, great guys. After do all this process, then where can I ask a question in like Meta AI? Sampita, you can ask your question in Meta AI, but if you have connected it to Telegram, then you can actually have your own bot. So you don't even have to go to Meta AI. So you got AI already connected here, right? So you can ask any question. You can give it to your friends. You can amaze them. And in the next session, guys, okay, not today's, next month's bootcamp. By the way, tomorrow again we have the second part of the bootcamp, guys. If you attend both, then you get actually the certificate, and look for more such things, guys. Okay. All right, very nice. So here Tanvir also created a Gen AI Telegram bot. Okay, Tanvir, I will definitely check it out. Very nice, definitely. You can use Aki. You can use other. Don't use OpenAI GPT models. You can use Claude. So you can use Google Gemini. You can use many of them. I mean, many such models are there. API models are there. All right, guys. Great talking to you all today. Okay, and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, same time. And please do try to build the AI agents. So there are only two ways to deal with AI. Either you remain scared of it, but then definitely AI will take your job, especially in the information area that you all are in. Second option is that you damn it, you become the operator of these AI models. So If you know how to build these AI agents, then you can actually take other people's jobs, but your job will not go away. So happy learning, guys, and keep building and keep learning AI, guys. Okay. All right, guys. If you want to be connected again with me, as I said at the beginning of the session, I'll be more than happy if you want to just give me a ping me on LinkedIn. This is the best way to be connected with me, and this is my LinkedIn ID, and I'll be more than happy to be connected with you all. Thanks a lot for joining in today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow again. Have a good night. Bye bye, everybody.
क्लास होगी सर। हेलो हेलो। Hello, hello everyone. The class is good, awesome, like it's a base. We have to tell about the teaching. The class is good, but the class is not awesome. Okay, bye.